So today I'm supposed to speak on teleradiology, and these are my some old presentation. And here I would like to tell you in brief about what we all did in past and what we are doing presently. So presently, you all must have seen what all we did in COVID era. In this time, the all the our imaging was being done in the hospital dedicated to COVID patient. And we were having our X-ray system, ultrasound, and CT scan there. The resident, uh, resident and technicians were doing the imaging, and all the images are being transmitted through the PECs to the main hospital, and we were doing the reporting. And the reporting was available to all the faculty and the resident of the institute in hospital information system with the images of the patients there only. About what is teleradiology? Teleradiology is basically the use of electronic information and communication technologies to provide and support healthcare when distance separate the participants. This was the definition was given in Institute of Medicines in 1996. So the teleradiology is the use of telecommunication technology to send data graphics, audio, and video images between participants who are physically separated for the purpose of clinical discussion and education. A word about background of teleradiology and about history of teleradiology. The radiological images were first documented medical visual communications, which was done across distance. William Collison discovered the mechanism of electrocardiograms, and this was made remotely transmitted as for consultation as early as 1906 using telephone lines. In 1920s, the shipping companies started using telecommunications consultation over radio in emergency situations. In 1948, the first X-ray transmitted over telephone lines between Westchester and Philadelphia. In 1968, Dr. Kenneth Bird started video link between a walk-in clinic at Boston Airport and casualty department in Massachusetts. In 1979, first digital data link was started between CT scanner machine and the radiation treatment planning computers and Loma Linda University. Then this was regularly used to provide care to a variety of local sites until the mid-1980s. In 1986, one of the earliest PECs was installed at UCLA, and in 1994, there was a need of standards. So ACR, the American College of Radiology, with National Electronic Manufacturers Association, DICOM standards have been provided. Then now why teleradiology is required? Because there is a diversity in the standard of quality of teachers, and in some places there were paucity of teachers. Because availability of education tools and state of our diagnostic equipments, though state of our diagnostic equipments are not available everywhere, non-availability of books and journals, quality and type of patient materials, which are different in different geographical areas, diversity in the quality of student because of entry and exit parameters, which are different in different places. There are multiple traditional method of teachings and diversification of language and culture. So the networking of medical colleges and institutions can bridge this distance between student and teachers, can improve quality of postgraduate educations, and tertiary academic medical centers can provide additional inputs through networking. Now, what were the objectives? Objective was to improve quality of medical or paramedical educations and meeting the educational needs of the student despite paucity of teachers, facilitating cognitive components of learning by providing interactive teaching materials, online developed by a group of competent teachers at undergraduate, postgraduate, and super specialty level. Then there is a sharing of knowledge by sharing experiences and having opportunities to share state-of-art equipments. To link medical libraries with adequate stock of books and journals to promote medical research and to do online continuing medical educations. We want to implement uniform examination patterns and evaluation. We want to do the coaching of students with online and offline MCQs, enhancing computer literacy among medical students and teachers to promote psychomotor skill development through telementoring and facilitating e-health governance. There is sharing of resources and establishing effective communication between the medical colleges and the faculty, providing educational material and tools for medical teachers and improving quality and reducing the cost of healthcare. So initially, when we started doing teleconsultation, we were doing teleconsultation or tele-radiology with medical colleges of Orissa. There were 3 colleges, medical colleges at Cuttack, Behrampur and Bulla. Though they are wide apart from Uttar Pradesh, and we were doing teleconsultation, and this was scanned and stored. Like images were being scanned, they were sent through email one day prior to the teleconsultations, and next day we sit together and we used to discuss the films. The films are maybe the X-rays, maybe the CT scan and MRI, but they are just the scanned images. And the postgraduate students of different medical colleges used to sit and we used to discuss all sort of images. Then we started teleconsultation with different district hospitals, and these district hospitals were Balrampur Civil Hospital, were Sushila Tiwari Forest Hospital in Haldwani, and Uttaranchal Medical College. And we were doing the stored and forward type of technology where the images are being scanned, was sent one day prior to the discussion, and next day we used to sit together and we used to discuss the cases. And this was the real time but on demand discussions. Some snapshot to show this thing. So these were basically to getting expert opinions just to enhance medical knowledges between 2 different institutions and improving consultation and reporting skill. And again, for the online continuing education. But for that, we have to have some paramedical healthcare professional also. Just for them, the technician has to be better trained for taking the X-rays at the remote level and to scan them and to send them to the higher centers. So for institution teleradiology, knowledge sharing was the main purpose. And this was, we used to share interesting and complicated cases for peer opinion and consultation. This was being done with AIIMS, Chandigarh, and different other institutions with Bombay and Amrita Institute. The telementoring and tele-follow-up is required in emergency situations. And sometimes we used to for skill development for radiology resident, we used to train them for routine interventions as fine needle aspiration, cytology and biopsy. And we used to show them complex interventional procedures. So this was how we were doing Odisha Telemedicine Network, showing Uttaranchal Telemedicine Network for the state government. Here, the national network partners were in different NRC and RRCs. Again, we were taking lectures with SAARC countries, Pan Africa, and overseas partners. So initially, we were doing this teleconsultation or teleradiology with ISDN lines, then satellites. So this chart just to show the difference in ISDN lines when we were doing in 2000, then it was, the images were very slow, but it depends on the type of content. If the primary images were not good, the scanners cannot improve the quality, further deteriorates, and you cannot make diagnosis in most of the cases. You can just give a guarded opinion. When we use satellite, the video quality was good, sound quality was also good, connectivity was good, and course content were quite educative and were considered useful. So we have taken the response after the 1 month or 2 month audit. We were taking response from different medical colleges, and everybody was accepted the fact that sessions were considered educative and informative. As less frequently encountered cases at distance centers was also included. Session with primary health centers were only, we were able to give only limited diagnosis because the primary images were not up to mark. So the conclusion of this study was the technology must be up to date. When at the remote center, you have proper systems or equipment, state-of-art scanners, so you can take proper images and you can send proper images. So diagnosis can be confirmed. So what about goal of teleradiology is providing consultative and interpretative radiological services, making services of radiologists available in medical facilities without on-site radiology support at primary healthcare in healthcare centers in India, providing timely availability of radiological images and its interpretation in emergent and non-emergent clinical cares, providing subspecialty and super specialty supports, enhancing educational opportunity for practicing radiologists and residents, promoting efficiency and quality improvement, sending interpreted images to reference providers, and about in cases of disaster management, follow up the cases where the different CT scan and MRI has been done and you have to follow the images. Patient need not to come to high center for seeing the improvement or deterioration of the findings. And you can give home care to the patients also. Advantages, it increases, now you have increased access of radiologists. One radiologist can serve multiple centers, saving in treatment time, because as early as you have diagnostic images and the doctor, clinical doctor receive the reports, so he can start as treatment as early as possible. And it decreases the associated travel cost, saving of lost employment for time away from work and the loss of productivity of employees. In emergency, consultation can be provided on radiology basis. And there are different factors which are humans and society, human factors like benefits to patients and families, benefit to medical providers, benefits to participating hospitals and society. Tertiary level hospital can provide secondary opinion in all the cases. The teleradiology, initially it was non-DICOM, so you have to do everything, you have to scan, then send, then it can be DICOM based. And teleradiology requires basically, DICOM based teleradiology requires sending station, a method to carry the image, and report viewing, the remote viewing station. In DICOM cases, non-DICOM image transfer cases where the scanning, the X-rays, chest and other things has been done and it was not digitized, then images are to be digitized before transfer. For this, you can use scanner, digital cameras and video capture cards, and you can send the images through for consultation. For CTMR, now everything is digitized and you can directly send the images to remote center, and the reporting can be obtained from the expert radiologist. Same for ultrasound and cine images and for mammography, but in mammography, there is a challenge because of this unique spatial resolution. File sizes is very big and it creates requirement for great requirement for storage and transmission. For image digitization, you have to keep in mind for several parameters for image quality. So though image quality should not deteriorate, so you have to have a specific spatial resolution, contrast resolution, and temporal resolutions. A perfect imaging modality should produce images of high spatial and contrast and temporal resolution. Digitization always offers the exciting prospect of reducing physical space requirement, material cost, manual labor, and high retrieval and high-speed transmission. So image manipulation can be done at the remote center. You just send the images, the specialist will do image manipulation in the form of image processing, 2D and 3D images, MIP, MPRs, and image fusion, segmentation, virtual reality, and advanced analysis. These are just the softwares. The person, when we receive the images from the remote centers, we can do the image manipulation and reconstruction and can provide the 3D, 4D images uh, to the patient or to the referring physician. And they can be integrated to radiology information system, hospital information system for reporting and for enterprise integration. Image data transmission for network, initially everybody was doing, started with ISDN, but now through internet. Image compression can be done just to reduce the size of the file, so that should not be lossy image compression. That should have to be lossless image compression. For a word about qualification of personnel who are sitting and doing the cases, so we have to have a proper proper requisition for the cases to be done. Like physician has to give clear-cut indication what is their requirement, what is the problem, and what he is looking for. Then the word about radiologic technologist, if the technologist is sitting there and no radiologist is available on site, so he has to be properly trained. He should be knowing the requirement and should be knowing what protocol has to be used for scanning of a particular organ. The word about qualified medical physicist, his requirement to check the quality assurance of the system and to guide technologists about taking care of radiation. And as far as possible, the LARA principle should be used. So the radiation protection should be kept in mind. And finally, the image management specialist who can do image manipulations and integration. Equipment specifications. So equipment has to be state of art. If you are sending the images, you cannot accept lower quality or lower standard equipment, because if the images will not be good and they are not using digital imaging, further there is loss of information and the proper diagnosis you may not obtain from the expert. So equipment specification, the acquisition or digitization is required. Compression should not be lossy compression. Transmission should be good. Display capability should be there on the image monitoring, and archiving and retrieval should be there. We should take care of security and reliability of the images. All hardware must conform to international standards for the equipments like quality assurance, quality control, and turnout time for reporting and quality of the image received for reporting should be kept in mind. So about the cost benefit analysis after this teleradiology, the cost in film-based and digital imaging alternatives, the capital cost and maintenance cost should be kept in mind. Consumable costs like films and chemicals, so you can reduce this and you can just film less, you can have film less departments, and you can further reduce the cost of the investigations. The benefits are difficult to quantify, but includes decreased number of retake and lost films, and they support multiple users. The faster access to image and better services will be available, and there will be better clinical outcome and shorter hospital stay, because if the referring physician will receive the reports within time, he can start the treatment and can discharge the patient as per patient's and requirement and patient's clinical status. So we have diagnostic teleradiology, on-call teleradiology, referral, and teleeducations. The requirement of hardware and software for the teleradiology system are entirely dependent upon the purpose of teleradiology installation and the clinical questions to be answered. So these are a better word about diagnostic and on-call radiology. And this is self-explanatory. Diagnostic is required for transferring plain radiographs, and on-call is required in emergency situations. Teleeducation is for technical requirements as far as it is required for the two particular institution, and only requirement is that pathological findings are clearly visible. So there are a lot of issues involved in teleradiology practice. Like everywhere, it is technical factors, where the equipment comes and where the technicians or the technologists sitting behind the equipments, so they have to be properly qualified and the equipment should be state of art. Then other social, ethical, and legal issues, who are supposed to be reporting the cases and who are not to be reporting the cases. Then other security and confidentiality issue, like if you are sending the images through internet, so there can be like breach of privacy and confidentiality that should be taken care of. Then costing and reimbursement issues. Periodic upgradation is required for both the in terms of equipments and in terms of education of the technologists sitting behind the equipments. Then quality control, and we have to keep in our mind about the legal issues like licensing, medical malpractice, and standard of care. So there are a lot of challenges, but with in present scenario, with fast internet and other availabilities, technical availabilities, that these are just become limited. We don't have that much of issues, but concern about malpractice liability and concern about patient information confidentiality and data integrity is always there. The ability to fully and safely support the emergency radiology becomes more debatable and with complex investigation. If investigation are more complex, like contrast media administration is required, where clinical interface is there, and support to radiographic students or the junior doctors or the staffs, we have to take proper care, because here the technologists alone sitting cannot make protocols and cannot decide where the contrast media is required or not. So that has to be taken care of before starting any teleradiology practice. What to be done in difficult situations where the clinical diagnosis is difficult, and we have to take care of what are the sequences we are supposed to be using in cases of MRI or in cases of CT. So we need not to ask patient to come again and to take the retakes. So that should be avoided as far as possible. So there are a lot of solution has been given for telecommunication bills and all, just to help the doctors and the physicians. They can have the teleradiology, they can continue having the safe teleradiology or telemedicine practice. So what about American College Radiology teleradiology standards? In 1994, the ACR has developed a standard of teleradiology. And in these standards, they have defined goal, qualifications of personals, equipment guidelines, licensing, credentiality and liability, communications, quality control, and quality improvement. So all the things are being taken care of, and they have given the standard how to do the teleradiology practice. Specification about acquisition of digitization, compression, again, that should not be lossy compression, there should be lossless. These are the different versions which has been given by ACR, NEMA, DICOM standards, and now we are using version 3.0. A bit about technicality about mammography images. The original image size is different, and when you do a bit of compression can be acceptable, but beyond that it is not acceptable. So the image size is very big, and we have to take care of this image size. So we had supposed to scan the data, not the patient, and scan size is very, very big in cases of ultrasound also, and in cases of CT, where multiple acquisition has to be taken and multiple images has to be sent. You can do different types of telemedicine technologies, and a successful telemedicine program, rather than using a single technology, typically integrates multiple telecommunication technologies into a common infrastructure. So we can do synchronous and asynchronous type of teleradiology practice, where the synchronous type, it can be real time, and asynchronous, it is again the old method, stored and forward technology, where we can still using for the rural practice, where the state of art machines are not available. Sometimes we are receiving x-rays, these are scanned, they are torn, they are not up to mark, but at least we can give them some opinions, so the referring physician can start the treatment and the patient can be helped. So this technology or teleradiology or telemedicine is for everybody. It may be happy customers or underprivileged in cases of disaster management, or in cases of otherwise patients who don't want to travel, don't go to multiple places for the review and for the second opinion. So in conclusion, the first progress of telecommunication is changing aspect of practice and education. Experts also question about the different medical legal issues about tele cross-border consultation. The need of teleradiology education and medical university has also been stressed now. The students are being taught about the medicine and the computers in early years, and MBBS education program. The medical college now they are evaluating their curriculum, and they are preparing a student to use telecare technologies. They should also offer continuous educational program for physician. So the potential exists to provide a superior services in terms of quality education and consultation, as well as training. The main responsibilities are teaching, research, and service to the community still there. Thank you.